Hey everybody, it's Maranatha here, and I am here to encourage you all to not choose to act on your feelings, but act on the facts and go to the source of those facts. That is where your destiny will always remind you of who you are and where you will always gain strength and gain momentum to move forward. I got this revelation from reading 1 Kings chapter 19. And this was about Jezebel and Elijah. In verse 1 it says, "And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time." And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life and came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and left his servant there. So Elijah was scared. He was scared after what Jezebel had threatened him with saying. In verse 4 it says, "But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough now. O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel of the Lord came again the second time, and touched him, and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. And he arose, and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of God. First lesson: do not rely on your feelings to determine your destiny. Do not rely on your feelings. In the moment of Elijah feeling like he wanted to die, he was basing that off of his feelings in that moment. He was basing that of the experience that he was going through, of the threat that he had over his life. And he went to the source of truth and told him straight up, I'm done. This is it. I'm good. I want to die. And a lot of you may feel like you want to die, like you want to give up, like you can't do this anymore, like it's too much. And that you have a right to say that it's enough. God knows when it's enough. God knows when it's time. God knows when you need rest. God knows when you need to eat. God sent the angel to Elijah a couple of times and said, Arise and eat. He had water for him and food for him, waiting for him. And Elijah needed to sleep. He needed to rest. He needed to take that time to gain his strength back. But just because Elijah was at a place where he's like, all right, this is as far as I can go, does not mean that this is as far as he could have gone. He had to go further because he had to fulfill his destiny. And God has to take you further. I know right here in the thick of it where you're at right now, you want to stop and you want to give up and you don't want to do any more. You don't want to have to die of any more of your flesh anymore. You don't want to have to be the bigger person anymore. You don't want to have to move anymore. But God is like, I need you to stretch and go further and go deeper and go where I called you to go. And that means you're going to have to leave everything behind. That means you're going to have to leave that threat behind. You're going to have to leave that lie behind. You're going to have to leave what people said about you behind, because at the end of the day, it's not going to serve you anymore, because it's not based on your feelings. Even though what you went through caused you to have feelings of doubt, of feelings that you need to die because you really felt like you had that right. You don't have the right to call quits. You don't have the right to say no to God. You don't have the right to be like, oh no, I'm done. No, God has a purpose over your life, and your destiny requires you to go further. So you have to keep going, because there's people for you to meet. There's people that have to meet you to be able to get what they need to get from you that is only inside of you because God put it inside of you. And if you say you